Hey friends, today I am working on my very first Christmas crafting project. So I spent the weekend die cutting a bunch of stuff with my Cricut, doing some sewing, organizing my supplies, and you all have already seen my Christmas crafty stash already. And then I have this huge bin of die cuts to put away. So I spent a bunch of time die cutting some trees, some words. I've got some bows, some bag toppers. I've got some ornaments and some peppermints and all kinds of different things in here to use. I also pulled out my Stampin' Up punches, and I did a bunch of the little penguins, and I did a bunch of the little stockings to have already ready to use. So I thought for my first project, I had these crepe paper rosettes laying on my desk. And I thought, why not create my first project using these items that were on my desk already? So I have 4 rosettes, and I have some bows, some little stars, some of the trees that I die cutted. 2 of them I have wrapped with the sequins trim here that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I think you could still get this at Hobby Lobby. But I kind of wrap the sequins thread around the trees. I've got some ruffled sewn paper, and then I have some little like doily type things here. And I also pulled out these chipboard words and these chipboard stars. I have been trying to use these stars for the last year, for last year for Christmas and July, Christmas, and this year for Christmas and July, and I haven't. So I'm going to try to get those used up. Aside from that, I've got my glue gun and I've got my Dollar Tree foam tape handy. So I'm just going to make 2 of these with you guys. This red one is a lot larger than these, so I think I'll do one of the large red ones and one of the pink ones. And let's maybe do... we need a large, long one for this. Okay, here we go. So I think I'm going to start with that, and I think I want to add a little bit of this snowflake trim as a layering element as well. And I'm just going to have it be the length of the ruffle. And this was from... I want to say this came from Hobby Lobby, but I cannot remember 100%. All right, so we're going to have to make this one a tiny bit longer than the ruffle. But I'm really trying to use up items that I have in my stash already this year. So you could also add some tulle or something down to your rosette if you wanted to. But I think for this project, I'm just going to go ahead and pop up my... I'm just going to pop up my ruffles first as my first layer. I pulled out a bunch of my scraps and got them organized together, and I used a bunch of my scraps to do all my die cutting instead of using full sheets of paper. And then the full sheets of paper I used, now I have more scraps to use. All right, I think I'm going to add just on this one and this one to lay down. And then for this one, it's just going to have to be a little bit along the middle And this one I can add on as well. And we'll put that in the middle. So that is our base of our rosettes. And then let's see, I'm thinking let's add maybe, let's do this large green tree, and then let's maybe add the glitter tree on the pink there. So I think I want to pop up my tree as well. I like adding layers and dimension on my projects. Yeah, that will work. Let's add our tree. All right, and then I think I want to grab some of these smaller pieces. Oh, I also have a bow that's super cute. Let's see. Let's do that and a red. Kind of think I like this like peachy orange with that and this. So I'm going to pop these up. So these are chipboard pieces, and it is not a sticker. So let's see. We're going to want that to be taller. A tip if you want to double check about how far you want your foam tape to be stacked, if you leave the backing on and then put another layer on and then double check if you like that, you can easily peel this off if you don't want double layers. If you peel this backing off and then lay this on here, you're kind of like automatically stuck with the both layers. So that's just a little tip that I learned. So let's add our star as the next level, and we're going to repeat on the other one. I could almost use a slightly bigger star on this one, but I think I'm going to keep the same size just for kind of consistency of the size of the stars. All right, so then we have that. And then we could add a longer one on here. And then maybe we'll add this Hello December on here. All right, so that's a good layers there. I'm going to grab my Westcott titanium scissors to trim my foam tape. Now, because we do have an extra layer here, we're going to want to double our layer on this side to give this side the height. And then we're going to repeat that. And then I don't normally add layers on this side. Now, if you want it to stick up a whole lot above this, you could add another layer here and another layer here. But I normally just stick the flat side down to the object to the right or the left, however it works out. And you know, it might be neat to wrap these in this thread. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to grab my finger protector. We're going to get this started. And then you just wrap it. And you can be even with it. You can have fun with it. You can crisscross it. That's completely up to you. And then let's trim this thread here. And that's pretty fun. We have the... Now, for this one, you could leave the thread off since you have the thread already on there, but I think that's super fun. I like adding some texture to elements on my embellishments. And then let's just repeat that with this one. All right, cute. I like that added texture on these little die cuts. And then I forgot to peel my backing. So ideally you'd want to wrap this before you put the foam tape on there, but because I forgot to do that, we're wrapping it around the foam tape. So you're going to add some glue there and some glue towards the end of where the star is. And then I'm going to kind of center this. Okay. That's cute. I like these already. I like how they're turning out. And then I do have these little stars that had been gifted to me. And I think it might be fun to add these stars down. At the top of our tree. So we just want a tiny bit of glue. And then add our little star down. And you could always add these on your tree before you put them on your project to make it easier. And let's repeat with this one. I'm going to do the pink one on the glitter tree. Okay, there we go. That's cute. Now, I do have some bows. These gingham bows were pre-made. And then because this one was a little bigger, I thought about adding a bigger bow. But kind of thinking I want to add this matching set of bows. So I'm just going to add a little glue and add that. It's okay if it covers a little bit of my word up. And I'm just attaching that directly down to the star here. Just filling in some of that empty space. All right, that's cute. Now, what else can we add to this? I'm kind of feeling like they're good. I don't think I need to add anything else to them. You could punch a hole and add a dangle into the chipboard. You could punch a hole in your ruffle and add a dangle, or your star if you want to add a dangle. I had decided I didn't want to dangle anything off of these. Now, I did pull these out to do like a backing. So I think I'm going to put the large one on there, but I think I'm going to leave the small one off for now, because then I could add this on to another project. But if I add it on this doily, I think it might be too big. So let's add this one on here. And I think I'm going to pop the rosette up to give it a little more dimension. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue down where I put my foam tape. And let's see, 2 of them are good, yes. I think I might add a 3rd in the middle just for more stability. And then let's sort of center this. Clean up those glue strings, and cute. This turned out so fun. So many fun layers there. And then our little pink one. How cute are these? And I love that I'm using up those stars and these chipboard phrases. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by and crafting with me. I'm going to be in full Christmas crafting mode now that I have created my first project. I'm so inspired to create some more embellishments, and I definitely want to create some tags this year, and some cards as well. So thanks again, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.